Hello everybody, this is Josh with Techtopia TV, and today I'm going to do a video about spring cleaning your PC. So stick around and I'll show you some things. Okay, I'm done. No, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about a real spring cleaning. All right, so the first thing I like to do whenever I start cleaning my PC, it's been a while, I'll say that. I mean, I kind of dusted it off a little bit here and there in the last year or so, probably around the 6-month mark is usually whenever, or is whenever I did it last. I try to clean it and dust it, blow it out with an air compressor or canned air. If you have canned air, that works as well. I try to do that every 3 months or so, but that's because my computer sits lower on near the floor, and of course I have a dog that shares this room whenever I'm at work all day. So, of course, hair and dander and dust and dirt and grime and crap and whatever else you can think of loves electronics, and electronics don't love it. So, I usually first just take a regular rag. I mean, I know they have some static proof ones. I don't really go inside the computer with it, so I'm not really worried about the whole static shock. So that's really not a concern for me at the moment. I just tend to just kind of wipe down the case, make sure that it's, you know, all the real thick dust and crap is off of it. That way, you know, it looks better. You can kind of get the smudge and the fingerprints off and all the dust that is stuck to it over the past few months, make it look all nice and shiny again like it was when it was brand new. And it's not going to be easy because trust me, dust likes to get everywhere. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you do. You can absolutely seal your house up 100% where not a single particle of air gets through, and somehow it gets in. But I mean, obviously you can make a clean room if you have billions of dollars. I don't have that. So now what I figured I would do is I'm going to lay my computer down. That way I can get a slightly better look at it. And look at this. All this crap. Now, up until about 3 months ago, I had my computer sitting up on a podium thing. So that way it was off the floor, away from the floor and everything else, but I had to repurpose that podium, that little step thing, for something else temporarily. So it has just been sucking up loads and loads and loads of dust, dander, and dog hair. Luckily, I have these screens on here, which, you know, they're super simple to deal with. You know, they're not difficult at all. So you just slide them out, blow it out, which I'll do in a minute. I don't want to do it in here because obviously that's not going to help the situation at all, because now I'm just spreading it around even more. So I'm going to go ahead and leave that out. All right, so that we have that dust screen removed. You got all this extra nasty hair and dust and just, ugh, it's so disgusting. So now I don't know exactly how far or how deep I'm going to go with cleaning this. I know I want it cleaned, but I'm not going to take it completely apart to where I can put all new thermal paste and all that on there. I mean, it's cooling beautifully right now. I have absolutely no issues with any kind of cooling or anything. So I don't really want to jeopardize that, I guess, because I have had times and even seen times where you're like, oh man, I really want to, you know, put some new, you know, Arctic Silver 5 or some other thermal paste on it when I'm cleaning my computer, and then it ends up just being worse. I have the stuff that came on the Corsair H110, I think it's H110i GT, or is it GTI? The H110 GT is the one that I'm using now, the cooler I'm using. And I just used the thermal compound that came with it, and I haven't had a single issue. My temps are super cool whenever I'm gaming, whenever I'm streaming, whenever I'm encoding videos and doing videos for the channel. I don't have any issues with it, so I really don't want to touch that and end up screwing it up. So I'm going to leave the CPU and the CPU cooler, or the CPU cooler in there. I'm not going to take it out and redo all that. Now what I will end up doing though is the fans. I know the dust on the fans can get really gross. I'll get some shots of, closer up of how dirty they can get. So they do get really filthy if you don't clean them often. The blades can get nasty, just everything. So it's actually really clean in here. I'm kind of surprised, to be honest. I will most likely take out the video card and all of that and blow it out. I have an air compressor in my garage, so I'll blow all that out. Now, one thing I will say, because I'm just going to do like a quick time lapse of me cleaning it out when I get outside. One thing I will say is if you used a air compressor, compressed air, you might want to be a little careful. It doesn't jet out of there too hard. But if you're using an air compressor, like one that you have in your house, or even like a little portable one or whatever, just make sure you have something to hold the fans. Hold the fans when you're blowing through, trying to get the dust and everything out of the heat sinks and stuff like that, because it can overspin the bearing in the fan. Let me tell you, it can kick those fans up to insane RPMs, and you can literally fry the bearing in your fan. So just keep that in mind if you're going to use some kind of air compressor or something that's jetting out air faster than canned air. I'd still would be careful with canned air as well. So as you all know, this is my X99 setup. I have the 980 GTI, or 980 Ti in here. I have my Sound Blaster ZX sound card in here, 2 SSDs, one's for gaming and one I use for my OS. And then I have my 1 terabyte Western Digital that I use for just storing all of my video footage on, because it's enough speed, it's enough space, I'm not that worried about it. So, and then of course I have my water cooler up here, or my all-in-one cooler, or the radiator up here, which is a 240 or 280 unit. So it's got 2 140 fans. So that's pretty much it. I'm probably going to pull the power supply out the back and just try to blow it out the best that I can. And that's pretty much it. I'm not going to mess with anything on the back panel where all the cable management is, because I don't really see an issue with any kind of dust getting back in there. When I checked it 3 or 4 months ago, there was nothing back there. I mean, obviously there's going to be some kind of dust in there, a little bit of particles here and there, but there wasn't enough to where it was warranted pulling all the back panel off. And if you have your wires tucked in there just right, to screw that all up. So I'm not going to worry about doing that. And yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and start pulling this thing apart, taking out the video card and all that stuff, so that way I can clean it. What a beauty she is, man. I still think that this is a gorgeous, 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 gorgeous video card. I absolutely love this video card. All right, that's really about it. I mean, it's all pretty much open already. I'm not seeing any kind of, there's nothing going to prevent me from getting 90% of the dust out of here. Like I said, it is absolutely really clean in here. So that makes me really happy about this case. This case doesn't really allow a whole lot of dust and crap to get in it. So that's really nice. I mean, the fans here, it's got dust all over it. So I'll definitely have to make sure I blast that thing pretty good. And it does look like there's quite a bit of dust up here on the radiator, the Corsair radiator, so I will have to make sure that I take that apart to make sure it's clean. Now this has always been a pain. Trying to pull off this top cover has always given me some issue because I'm always afraid that I'm going to break it. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and try to spend some time taking this thing off, and I'll get right back to you. All right, so we got it off. Here's the bottom of it. Nothing wrong with it at all. There's no dust on it anywhere, so that's good. Let me set it somewhere where it doesn't get scratched up. That's the last thing I want to do is scratch up the top of my case, which is pretty much the part that I look at the most just because of the way that it's sitting. So all through here, everything is absolutely spotless. There is nothing. So what I will most likely do, instead of removing all of this here and making it more work than it needs to be, these fans are absolutely clean. There is no dust on them, hardly any dust on them at all. That's quite amazing. So what I will most likely do is I will most likely hold these fans, get them to where they are nice and firm, they're not going to go anywhere, and I will probably just jet down with the air this way, so that way it blows it out this way, and then I can clean it out the rest of the way down here. So let's take off this front panel. This one's a little easier to take off. I never had much issue with this one until now. Now that I say it, of course, it's going to give me a problem. There we go. Now this one is nasty. I'll just go ahead and wipe that off. But I mean, it's not that dirty on the inside of that. But the fans, holy moly! Look at this. Look at this. This is a magnetic filter, and look at this thing. There you go. I got it in the lighting of the secondary camera there. This thing is absolutely disgusting, and it's right. I mean, it's right dead in the center of the fan, so it's really not that bad. But it was definitely hindering some of the airflow. So I'm gonna go ahead and stick it back on, so that way I don't lose it. But it can get pretty gross, so you want to be careful. Ooh, yeah, there we go. Yum. Just knocked a bunch of dust all over the place. All right, so now I think what we're going to do is I think we're going to just go step outside and knock this thing out, get it cleaned up, and get some final shots of it whenever it's done. We'll be right back. All right, so what you can see that I did is I basically just took my air compressor and I just blew everything out of it. Just everything, got it out of there. So yeah, again, I didn't go deep into this because there really wasn't nothing to get at. I mean, there wasn't anything. The power supply was nice and clean because of the filter. The front fans were nice and clean because of the filter. The top mounted all-in-one cooler, the radiator and everything, it had some gunk in it, but it came out with no problem with my air compressor, so I was really happy with that. Now, I blew off the fans, the rear fan blade that had the most dust on it. I mean, it had the most crud out of everything in the system, so I was really quite surprised by that, but that's a good thing. That's really awesome that that's the only thing that I ended up having in the machine. So I'm going to go ahead and pop the video card back in and call it done. So let's go ahead and do that. All right. Video card is in there solid. And that's it. We're all good to go on that. Stand her up. All right, that is it, folks. So again, I just wanted to show you how quickly and easily you can just take your computer down, and if you have canned air, compressed air, or compressor in your garage or whatever, you can easily blow this thing out. Keep it nice and clean. You don't have to worry about anything caking up on it too much, and you're good to go after that. I mean, you always want to make sure you do this. I try to do it every 3 months or so, but again, that's because my computer shares a room with my dog during the day and at night. So it gets kind of filthy, but the filters on this thing, this is the cleanest computer case that I've seen after that amount of time. I'm really thoroughly impressed with the NZXT H440 on as far as keeping the system clean. So, wow. Thanks for watching the video. Like and subscribe. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. They're all down there. You're all, I mean, I'm glad that I have the subscribers that I have. Of course, who doesn't want more? So there's going to be a lot more content coming up in the future, a lot more tutorials and all of that. You can check out these other videos if you want to, and I will catch you in the next video, I guess. Take it easy.